Welcome back to Token Trails. This is our next episode in the Superchain series. Sorry for the delay, but we are back and ready to dive in. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Swell Network.
Okay.
A protocol that's making waves in the Ethereum staking world. You sent over some in-depth documentation, so hopefully by the end of this deep dive, we'll both have a solid grasp of how Swell is changing the game for ETH holders.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fascinating protocol. For sure.
Okay, great. So from what I've seen in these docs, Swell is all about giving you more control and flexibility over your staked ETH. It seems like the keywords here are liquid staking and liquid restaking. Can you explain what those terms actually mean, like in practice?
Sure. So in traditional ETH staking, you have to lock up your ETH for a fixed period of time to earn rewards. With Swell's liquid staking, you receive a token called sweETH.
sweETH?
Yes, sweETH that represents your staked ETH plus the rewards you accrue. And what's really cool is that this sweETH can be used in other DeFi protocols, just like regular ETH.
So it's like having your cake and eating it too. You're earning staking rewards while still being able to participate in DeFi.
Exactly.
I like it.
And then there's liquid restaking, which takes things a step further. With Swell, you can use a token called rswETH to support other services.
Okay.
Built on Ethereum through a protocol called EigenLayer. This allows you to essentially restake your ETH.
Restake.
And earn additional rewards on top of your regular staking rewards, all while keeping your assets liquid.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could be a game changer. But let's back up for a second and talk about the problems that Swell is trying to solve.
Okay.
Why would someone choose Swell over traditional staking methods?
Well, traditional staking has a few drawbacks. For one, locking up your ETH limits its flexibility. You can't easily access it if you need to, which can be a problem in a volatile market. Secondly, running your own validator node requires 32 ETH.
Right, 32 ETH.
Which is a significant investment for many people.
For sure.
And on top of that, it also requires a fair bit of technical expertise to set up and maintain a validator node.
So Swell's making staking more accessible by removing these barriers to entry.
Precisely. With Swell, there's no minimum stake, so you can start earning rewards with any amount of ETH you have, and you don't need to be a tech wizard to participate, as Swell handles all the complexities of staking for you.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned these two tokens, sweETH and sweETH. Can you break down each of them in more detail? I think understanding these tokens is key to grasping how Swell actually works.
Absolutely. Let's start with sweETH. When you deposit ETH into Swell, you receive sweETH in return.
Right.
The value of sweETH is constantly increasing as you earn staking rewards, and you can use it just like regular ETH in DeFi protocols. This opens up a world of possibilities for earning yield and maximizing your returns.
That's pretty cool. It's like your staked ETH is working for you on multiple fronts simultaneously.
Exactly. And then there's sweETH, which is specifically designed for liquid restaking. By holding sweETH, you're not only earning staking rewards, but also supporting the growth of other protocols on Ethereum through EigenLayer. It's a way to amplify your impact and earn additional rewards at the same time.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, sweETH is like a turbocharged version of sweETH. You're earning on two levels: traditional staking rewards plus rewards from supporting other protocols.
That's a great way to put it. It really highlights the unique value proposition of Swell's approach to staking.
Okay, so we have a general understanding of the what and why of Swell. But I'm curious about the how. Can you walk us through the technical details of how this all works under the hood?
Sure. One of the core components of Swell's system is its node operator set.
No operator set, okay.
These are the trusted validators that actually run the nodes and secure the network.
So even though users don't have to run their own nodes, there are still validators in the background doing the heavy lifting.
Exactly. Currently, Swell operates with a permission set of node operators who have a proven track record and meet Swell's strict security requirements. However, they do have plans for decentralizing this further in the future.
That makes sense. Decentralization is always a key goal in the DeFi space.
Yeah.
But for now, it seems like they're prioritizing security and reliability by working with established validators.
Exactly. These node operators play a crucial role in ensuring the smooth operation of Swell's staking and restaking mechanisms.
Can you walk us through the actual process of staking with sweETH? What happens when someone deposits their ETH?
Certainly. When you deposit ETH into Swell, it's pooled together with other users' ETH until there's enough to create a full validated deposit of 32 ETH. Once that happens, Swell selects a validator from its node-operated set and activates it on the Ethereum beacon chain.
So even though users can stake any amount of ETH behind the scenes, Swell is still working with those full 32 ETH validator deposits.
That's right. It's a way to aggregate smaller deposits and ensure efficient validator operation. And in return for your ETH deposit, you receive sweETH tokens that represent your share of the pooled ETH and the rewards it generates.
Okay, that makes sense. And as the validators earn rewards, the value of sweETH increases accordingly.
Precisely. The exchange rate between sweETH and ETH is constantly being updated to reflect the growing value of the staking pool.
So in essence, holding sweETH is like holding a constantly appreciating asset reflecting your share of the staking rewards.
That's a great way to put it. It captures the dynamic nature of sweETH and how it allows you to benefit from ETH staking in a truly liquid and flexible way.
Right, this is starting to make a lot of sense. I'm really intrigued by how Swell has designed this system to solve some of the inherent challenges of traditional staking.
It's a very clever approach, and it's gaining a lot of traction in the Ethereum community. And remember, we've only just begun to scratch the surface here. There's a lot more to explore, from the intricacies of the reward distribution system to the exciting possibilities of Swell's upcoming Layer 2 solution.
Well, I'm definitely ready to dive deeper. Let's unpack those rewards next.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Swell Network.
All right, so we've laid a solid foundation understanding how Swell tackles traditional staking limitations with sweETH and its innovative restaking mechanism through sweETH.
Yeah.
I'm ready to keep going. Where should we head next?
Let's talk rewards.
Rewards, okay.
Everyone wants to know how much they can potentially earn with Swell.
Absolutely. Break down the reward structure for us. What are the different sources of rewards and how are they distributed?
When you stake ETH with Swell, you're essentially tapping into two main sources of rewards.
Okay.
Firstly, there are the standard ETH issuance rewards from the consensus layer. These are earned by the validators for participating in the network's consensus mechanism, attesting to transactions and proposing blocks.
These are the rewards that are typically locked up until withdrawals are enabled on the beacon chain, right?
Exactly, but here's where Swell gets interesting.
Okay.
In addition to these consensus layer rewards, Swell also captures what are called execution layer rewards.
Execution layer rewards.
Yeah, these include priority fees, also known as tips.
Okay.
And something called MEV, or maximal extractable value.
Ah, MEV. That's a hot topic in the Ethereum world.
For sure.
Can you explain how Swell handles MEV and why it matters for stakers?
Absolutely. MEV refers to the potential profit that validators can extract by strategically ordering or including transactions in the blocks they produce.
Okay.
Swell requires its node operators to route all priority fees and MEV rewards back to Swell's deposit manager contract, effectively funneling those rewards back into the staking pool.
Okay.
This means that stakers benefit directly from MEV, further increasing the value of their sweETH.
So instead of MEV being solely captured by validators, Swell ensures that it's shared amongst all stakers.
That's right. It's a key part of Swell's commitment to maximizing rewards for its users and creating a more equitable staking ecosystem.
This approach makes a lot of sense. It seems like Swell has found a clever way to harness MEV for the benefit of the entire staking pool, not just a select few.
They've certainly turned a potential point of contention into a value add for stakers.
I like it.
And this system, where both the consensus layer rewards and execution layer rewards are captured and distributed, contributes to the ongoing appreciation of the sweETH token.
Okay, this all makes sense so far. We deposit ETH, it gets pooled together and used to activate validators, and those validators earn rewards that increase the value of our sweETH. But what happens if I need to access my ETH? Can I withdraw my sweETH?
Absolutely. Swell offers two ways to withdraw your sweETH.
Okay.
You can either withdraw directly through their platform at the primary market rate, or you can swap your sweETH for ETH on a decentralized exchange, also known as a DX.
So I have the flexibility to choose the method that best suits my needs.
Exactly. DEXs typically offer instant liquidity, so if you need access to your ETH quickly, that's the way to go. However, if you're not in a rush, withdrawing directly through Swell might be a better option, as you'll get the full primary market rate for your sweETH.
You mentioned earlier that there might be waiting periods involved with withdrawals depending on a few factors. What are those factors?
There are a few things that can influence withdrawal times.
Okay.
Firstly, there's the beacon chain's exit queue, which limits the number of validators that can exit during each epoch. This is a built-in mechanism of the Ethereum network to ensure stability.
So even though Swell aims for fast withdrawals, they're still bound by the underlying limitations of the beacon chain.
That's right. Additionally, there's something called the validator sweep state,
Validator sweep state.
which is essentially a process of cycling through all eligible validators for exits.
Right.
And lastly, the overall demand for staking and unstaking within Swell itself can also impact withdrawal times.
Okay.
If there's a sudden surge in withdrawal requests, it might take a bit longer for them to be processed.
So while Swell is designed for liquidity and flexibility, there are still some potential delays that users should be aware of, particularly if they need access to their ETH very quickly.
It's always best to be prepared and understand the nuances of any financial protocol you're using, and Swell's no exception. But overall, their withdrawal process is quite efficient, and they're constantly working on improvements.
Now, I'm really intrigued by this whole concept of liquid restaking and the rswETH token. Can we dive a bit deeper into how that works?
Of course, we touched on it briefly before, but to recap, VUZAR is the token that allows you to participate in liquid restaking with EigenLayer.
Okay.
EigenLayer is a fascinating protocol that enables other services built on Ethereum,
Okay.
what they call active validated services or AVSs.
AVSs?
Yeah, to leverage the security of Ethereum's validator set.
So it's like these AVSs are essentially renting security from Ethereum's validators.
That's a good way to think about it. And rswETH is your ticket to participate in this ecosystem. By holding rswETH, you're essentially delegating your stake to support these AVSs.
Okay.
And in return, you earn additional rewards on top of your regular staking rewards.
It's like you're diversifying your staking portfolio, earning rewards from both Ethereum itself and the AVSs you're supporting.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is that you're not locking up your ETH to do so. Your rswETH remains liquid, meaning you can trade it or use it in other DeFi protocols, just like swift.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. You're earning on multiple fronts while retaining flexibility. It seems almost too good to be true. Are there any risks or downsides to consider?
Like with any DeFi protocol, there are inherent risks involved with Swell.
Right.
For one, smart contract vulnerabilities are always a possibility, although Swell takes significant steps to mitigate this through rigorous audits and bug bounty programs.
So it's essential to remember that even the most secure protocols are built on code, and code can have bugs.
That's right. It's always prudent to proceed with caution and do your own research before committing significant funds to any DeFi protocol.
For sure.
What about the risks associated with Ethereum 2.0 itself? It's still a relatively new technology, and there could potentially be unforeseen issues.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another valid point. However, Ethereum 2.0 has undergone extensive testing and development, and it's continuously being improved and refined.
Okay.
Plus, Swell carefully selects experienced and reputable node operators to minimize the risk of validator misbehavior or downtime.
So they're taking steps to ensure the reliability and security of the underlying infrastructure as well.
Absolutely. They understand that user trust is paramount in the DeFi space, and they're committed to building a secure and robust platform.
This is all very reassuring, but before we move on, could we clarify something? You mentioned that consensus layer rewards are locked up until withdrawals are enabled on the beacon chain. Does this also apply to rswETH?
That's an important distinction. While the underlying ETH that backs swath is subject to the beacon chain's withdrawal rules, the swath token itself is liquid.
Okay.
You can trade it or use it in DeFi protocols without any restrictions.
So while I might not be able to access the actual ETH rewards from restaking immediately, I still have full control over my swath and can utilize it in various ways within the DeFi ecosystem.
Exactly. It's a way to maintain liquidity and flexibility while still earning those valuable restaking rewards.
All right, this is all starting to click into place. Swell has created a really fascinating system for maximizing staking rewards while addressing some of the key limitations of traditional staking methods.
It's a testament to the innovative spirit of the DeFi space and how protocols like Swell are constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible with blockchain technology.
Well said. Now I know there's even more to uncover in the world of Swell.
For sure.
What else should we explore?
Let's shift gears and talk about some of the other unique offerings in the Swell ecosystem, like WBTC and the Swell DAO.
WBTC and the Swell DAO.
They bring a whole new dimension to the platform and how users can interact with it.
That sounds great. Lead the way. I'm ready to dive in. Welcome back to our deep dive into Swell Network.
We've covered a lot of ground exploring how Swell's liquid staking and restaking mechanisms empower ETH holders.
Yeah?
Now, let's shift our focus to another exciting aspect of the Swell ecosystem, WBTC.
WBTC.
From the documentation you sent, WBTC sounds like it brings the same innovation of liquid staking and restaking to Bitcoin holders.
Yeah, it does sound interesting.
Can you elaborate on what WBTC is and how it works?
Yeah, so from what I understand, WBTC stands for Swell Wrapped Bitcoin. And as the name suggests, it's designed to make your WBTC or wrapped Bitcoin more productive. Essentially, WBTC allows you to earn additional yield on your WBTC through restaking with other protocols.
So it's similar to how rswETH lets you restake your ETH with EigenLayer, but this time it's for Bitcoin.
That's exactly right.
Gotcha.
With WBTC, you can restake your WBTC with protocols like Symbiotic, EigenLayer, or Karat, all without having to lock up your WBTC in the process.
Okay.
This means you can earn additional yield while still retaining the flexibility to use your WBTC in other DeFi protocol.
It sounds like Swell is taking the same user-centric approach they developed for ETH staking and applying it to Bitcoin. This opens up a whole new world of possibilities for Bitcoin holders who want to maximize their returns.
Precisely. Swell recognizes that many crypto holders hold both ETH and BTC.
Yeah.
And they aim to provide solutions that cater to both. WBTC is a prime example of this philosophy in action.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's walk through how WBTC actually works in practice.
Okay.
If I'm a WBTC holder, what steps do I need to take to start earning yield with WBTC?
It's a pretty straightforward process. You deposit your WBTC into Swell's WBTC vault, and in return, you receive WBTC tokens, which represent your staked WBTC plus any accrued rewards.
So the same mechanism of a constantly appreciating token that we saw with sweETH applies here as well.
Exactly. It's a consistent and intuitive design pattern across Swell's ecosystem.
I like it. Now, you mentioned that WBTC can be restaked with various protocols. Can you elaborate on what those protocols are and the specific benefits they offer?
Sure. Symbiotic is a protocol that focuses on cross-chain stablecoins and liquidity. By restaking your sub-UBTC with Symbiotic, you're essentially helping to secure their stablecoin ecosystem and, in return, earning rewards in the form of their native token.
So by restaking with Symbiotic, you're not only earning yield, but also contributing to the stability and growth of their platform.
That's right. It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Got it.
Then there's EigenLayer, which we discussed earlier in the context of rswETH. EigenLayer enables a wider range of services built on Ethereum to leverage its security, and restaking with EigenLayer through sub-UBTC allows you to support these services while earning additional rewards.
It sounds like a way to diversify your staking portfolio and tap into the growth of the broader Ethereum ecosystem.
Exactly. And lastly, there's Karat, a protocol focused on building a decentralized and censorship-resistant social media platform.
Interesting.
Restaking with Karat allows you to support their mission while also earning rewards.
It's interesting how Swell is enabling users to align their investments with their values by supporting projects that resonate with them.
It speaks to the power of DeFi and how it can facilitate a more participatory and purpose-driven financial system.
Absolutely. Now, are there any risks specific to WBTC that users should be aware of? We talked about the general risks associated with smart contracts and the underlying technology, but anything unique to WBTC itself?
One thing to consider is that the restaking protocols Swell utilizes for WBTC are themselves subject to their own risks and vulnerabilities.
Okay.
Swell carefully vets these protocols, but it's always important for users to do their own due diligence and understand the potential risks involved.
It's a good reminder that even within a well-designed ecosystem like Swell, the interconnected nature of DeFi means that risks can cascade from one protocol to another.
Absolutely. And another factor to keep in mind is that the yield generated by WBTC through restaking isn't fixed. It can fluctuate based on the performance of the underlying protocols and the prevailing market conditions.
So similar to staking rewards, the yield from every BTC can be unpredictable, and users should approach it with a long-term perspective.
That's a wise approach. And lastly, remember that withdrawals from the WBTC vault currently have a fixed processing time of 18 days.
18 days, okay.
This is due to the unbonding periods and signing requirements of some of the restaking protocols involved.
Got it. So while WBTC offers great potential for earning additional yield, it's important to be aware of this longer withdrawal time frame if you anticipate needing access to your WBTC quickly.
Exactly. It's all about understanding the trade-offs and making informed decisions based on your individual needs and risk tolerance.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground with WBTC.
Yeah.
What's next on our Swell journey?
Let's talk about rswETH and the Swell DAO.
rswETH and the Swell DAO, okay.
Two more crucial elements of the Swell ecosystem. They give us a glimpse into the future of Swell and how it aims to become even more decentralized and community-driven.
Sounds good. What is rswETH?
rswETH is the liquid restaking token for the Swell governance token. Just like with sweETH and WBTC, rswETH allows you to earn yield on your Swell tokens through restaking.
So if I hold Swell tokens, I can stick them to earn yield through restaking, just like with ETH and WBTC.
Exactly, but rswETH has a unique twist.
Okay, what's that?
You retain your full voting power with rswETH, even though your Swell tokens are staked.
That's really interesting. So I can earn yield, participate in governance, and support the growth of the Swell ecosystem all at the same time.
Precisely. rswETH seamlessly integrates earning and governance participation, which is quite innovative.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal of rswETH. Can you walk us through the process of staking Swell and earning rswETH?
It's very similar to the process we've discussed for sweETHs and WBTC.
Okay.
You deposit your Swell tokens into Swell's rswETH vault and receive rswETH tokens in return.
Got it.
The value of rswETH appreciates over time as those restaking rewards accumulate.
And those rewards come from the same protocols we discussed earlier, Symbiotic and EigenLayer.
For now, yes, but Swell is always exploring new and promising restaking opportunities, so the specific protocols involved may evolve over time.
It makes sense to stay flexible and adapt to the ever-changing DeFi landscape.
Absolutely. Swell is committed to providing the best possible experience for its users, and that includes constantly seeking out new ways to maximize their rewards.
Now, you mentioned that rswell allows users to participate in governance even while their Swell tokens are staked.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on what the Swell DAO is and how it governs the Swell ecosystem?
Certainly. The Swell DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization.
Okay.
Essentially a community-governed entity responsible for making key decisions about the Swell protocol, managing the treasury, and shaping the future direction of the platform.
So it's like a digital democracy where Swell token holders have a say in how the protocol is run.
That's a great analogy. The Swell DAO embodies the principles of decentralization and community ownership that are core to the DeFi ethos.
Okay, I'm eager to learn more about how this digital democracy functions in practice. What are the mechanisms for Swell holders to participate in governance?
The Swell DAO utilizes a combination of on-chain and off-chain governance mechanisms.
Okay.
For on-chain voting, they use Swell's own governance contracts, allowing Swell holders to directly vote on proposals submitted by other community members or the Swell team.
So it's a very direct and transparent way for token holders to influence the protocol's development.
Exactly. And for off-chain voting, they use a platform called Snapshot, which allows for gasless voting on proposals, making participation much easier and more accessible for everyone.
It seems like Swell is going to great lengths to make governance as inclusive and user-friendly as possible.
They recognize that a vibrant and engaged community is crucial to the long-term success of any DeFi protocol, and they're actively fostering that engagement through these governance mechanisms.
Now, what types of decisions does the Swell DAO typically make? Can you give us some examples?
The Swell DAO has a wide range of responsibilities. They can vote on protocol upgrades, changes to the tokenomics, the allocation of treasury funds, and even partnerships with other projects.
So it's involved in all aspects of the Swell ecosystem, from the technical details to the strategic direction.
That's right. The Swell DAO is the ultimate decision-making body for the protocol, ensuring that it evolves in a way that aligns with the community's vision and values.
It's a powerful example of how DeFi is enabling new forms of decentralized governance and community ownership.
Absolutely. And Swell is at the forefront of this movement, constantly exploring new ways to empower its users and build a truly community-driven platform.
Well, we've covered an incredible amount of ground in this deep dive into Swell Network.
Yeah, we have.
From liquid staking and restaking to the innovative features of COVBTC, rswell, and the Swell DAO, it's clear that Swell is pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the DeFi space.
It's been a pleasure diving into the details with you. Swell is a fascinating example of how DeFi is evolving and maturing, creating more inclusive, efficient, and rewarding financial opportunities for everyone.
I couldn't agree more. To our listeners, if you're looking for a protocol that's innovating at the forefront of DeFi, I highly encourage you to check out Swell Network.
Yeah, for sure.
Their commitment to user empowerment, community governance, and constant improvement makes them a project to watch in the exciting world of decentralized finance.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.